This video is going to go over Chapter 10, Objective 7. Chapter 10, Objective 7. We're going to talk about the different types of muscle contractions. So again, getting a little bit more macroscopically here. So muscle contractions are classified based on the type of contraction that is the main one in the muscle. So you've got two main types, and they are going to be your isometric contractions and your isotonic contractions. So those are the two big groups. And then with isotonic contractions, they can then be further subdivided into concentric and eccentric contractions. So let's take a look at what an isometric contraction is. So if you kind of break the word down a little bit, iso means same, metric is talking about length. So we're talking about a contraction where the muscle does not change length. Okay. You're like, well, how does that work? Well, I've given you kind of hopefully an idea here. When you're looking at someone who's doing a plank, there's no movement going on with that person, but yet their muscles are at work. So it generates a force, but the muscles do not change length. So the muscle produces increasing tension. So as you know, if you've ever done a plank, you know that gets harder and harder the longer you do one, even though the muscles remain at constant length. So a lot of times these are just going to be your postural muscles that are involved in isometric contractions. That's primarily where you're going to see that at. Now, isotonic contractions, this is the same amount of force. So the force doesn't change. Now with isotonic, you have two versions. You have concentric and eccentric. So muscles produce a constant tension and shorten during the contraction. So there is a length change in that muscle in this type. So the concentric contractions, they produce tension as the muscle shortens. So that would be like contracting your biceps brachii muscle. That would be a concentric contraction. So as this guy up here is, let me change colors a little bit so you can see, as this guy up here is moving that weight up, he is contracting his biceps brachii muscle. So that's a concentric contraction. Now, eccentric contraction is going to produce tension and resist lengthening. So that would be when this guy is taking that weight and bringing it down, that biceps brachii muscle is lengthening. That would be the eccentric contraction. So you can kind of see here just a picture the difference between isotonic and isometric. And then within isotonic, you have the eccentric, which is the muscle lengthening. And then you have the concentric, which is the muscle shortening. Muscle tone, you need to know the definition of this word. Muscle tone is constant tension produced by muscles for long periods of time. Again, these are pretty much your postural muscles, keeping the back straight, lower limbs straight, head upright, abdomen flat. These are your postural muscles. So what they do, if you've ever taken a baby to the doctor, an infant, they will lay the baby on the table and then they will kind of pull their arms up a little bit. And you're like, what are you doing? What's going on? They're looking to see if that baby has any muscle tone. And it's called floppy baby syndrome if they do not. And that's one of the checks that they're looking for is there muscle tone in that baby? Now, obviously, they're not going to have a lot, but they should have some depending on age. Just FYI, strongest muscle in the body. Masseter muscle. That's the one that opens and closes your mouth. 200 pounds of force in a human. And then objective 8 is next. And we'll take a look at that in the next video.